Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. You know, in the automotive world, it can be pretty easy to fall behind, especially when you're not keeping up with a lot of your competitors. Now, that's especially true when you guys are looking in the full-size pickup truck segment, and it doesn't get much older versus this dinosaur behind me. This is the 2021 Toyota Tundra in the fully loaded 1794 edition. As you guys know, this Tundra debuted back in 2007. 13, nearly 14 years ago. Now, of course, Toyota has made some updates over the years, and with, of course, new versions of the F-150, the Ram, the GM twins, and all the electric trucks coming, I want to take a look at this 2021 model and see where does it fit in the segment, especially if you guys really want to buy a Toyota truck. So as you can see, looking at the design of the 2021 Tundra, Toyota hasn't made any changes to the truck, stylistic changes at least, for the last 4 or 5 years. For 2021, there are some new trims. There's the Nightshade and Trail Edition models. However, this one here, the 1794, is equipped very similarly to the Platinum trim. However, it just has more chrome bits. And of course, this one sits at the very top of the trim hierarchy. Now, of course, this generation Tundra actually enjoys a pretty good amount of sales. Toyota sells around 120,000 of these every year in America. And of course, it has the usual truck styling elements here. This big, massive chrome grille. Of course, you can get the grille painted out in black or a different finish. I showed you guys a TRD Pro last year, which is the more off-road capable model. The 1794 includes these full LED headlights, which include an LED daytime running light. You have LED low and high beams, just an incandescent turn signal, and then LED fog lights down here. You can see all the chrome on this particular one painted in wind chill pearl is not my preferred cup of tea. I much prefer blacked out accents, so keep that in mind. Toyota also offers a TRD Sport package. The LED headlights are optional. You have to go for at least an SR5 trim with the TRD Sport package to get that. All the limited and TRD Pros, and then this Platinum and 1794, they come standard with that. Now, the Tundra is a big truck. If you guys remember, when the first generation came out, it was considerably smaller than all of its other offerings, but at 228 inches long, this one here is the Crew Max, which means it's the biggest 4-door version with the 5.5-foot short bed, which is the most preferred configuration for most of the automakers. You can see there's a big 1794 badge over here. This particular one that I'm showing you has a 20-inch wheel. Minus the chrome finish, I kind of like the polished finish. This truck in general has around 10.5 inches of ground clearance. So the Tundra does have pretty good off-road capability. You can see the mirrors are also chromed. They're chrome capped. You can see there's a sunroof at the top of this particular one here. And at 145.7 inch long, the wheelbase, this is about the same length as most of its competitors, even though the Tundra is getting pretty old out there. The rear of the truck is where you're gonna see the most dated elements, because Toyota didn't even put any LED lights back here. You can see it's an all incandescent design, incandescent brake lights, tail lights, reverse lights, turn signals. Down here you can see my tester has the trailer hitch package with a 8,800 pound towing capacity. And then over here with the bed, you can see the short bed comes standard with the Crew Max trim. It's a pretty usable bed. This is what most of the competitors have. I like the spray-in bed liner. You can also get in or get a couple of more accessories in here. But if you're looking for something like the power outlets that you have available in the F-150 hybrid that I just drove, it's obviously not available in this truck. They also don't offer any kind of step to get up here. At least my tester does not have that. But overall, the bed is still useful. I definitely recommend going for the spray-in bed liner. So while the outside of the 2021 Tundra still looks old, what about the interior? Toyota, sadly, has not made any changes this year, although they did add one improvement for 2020, which I showed you already, and that's the addition of Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. That's standard across every trim of the Tundra. But as you can see, looking at the interior of my tester, it really is a time capsule back to the 2010 era easily. These seats on the 1794 edition, I like the brown color, I like the suede Alcantara. They are wide, supportive, and comfortable. They're also heated and cooled. It includes an 8-way power driver's seat, which is nice with 2-person memory. But overall, the interior of this vehicle definitely looks pretty old. Now, shutting the door, you can hear the door has a relatively solid sounding thunk. And the steering wheel you can see here is the same one that's on the 4Runner. Even the wood trim in here looks very fake. It just looks super dated. Door panel materials here, you can see hard touch plastic there, but it's soft touch right here, more of that fake wood. This massive chrome door handle, and then it's slightly padded here, but although I think Toyota should have stitched this in leather. Now, here's the key fob for the truck. Toyota added smart key access with push button start a couple of years ago, although the key fob itself feels pretty cheap and flimsy. For a truck buyer, I imagine this key, I would not be happy with the way this key feels. It doesn't feel very substantial. You can see there's the button to fire up the engine. I do like how Toyota includes a power tilt and telescoping wheel. However, the wheel itself isn't heated, which at this price point, at this fully loaded trim, Toyota should be offering a heated wheel. I don't know why they don't. The gauge display also looks equally old. It's got this very teeny tiny 3.5mm display there with the traditional analog gauges. If you guys like this traditional look, you're gonna like this. However, a lot of the newer trucks like the new F-150 that I just drove has a fully digitalized 12-inch display, which is just miles ahead in terms of tech. Materials on the upper portion here are also hard touch plastic. There's a new 8-inch touchscreen here, of course, that, like I said, includes Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, which is nice. You can see that's iOS 14, which is of course looking good, but the screen itself is looking kind of small, to be honest. A lot of competitors, again, are going to a 12-inch display like the new Ram, like the new F-150. When you put the truck into reverse, you can see backup camera, but it's very rudimentary, just a standard backup camera with distance markers, but no trajectory. A lot of competitors offer a full top-down view, which is pretty necessary in a big truck like this. You can see Toyota did update this interior a couple years ago where it resembles the previous generation F-150 with these dash vents. The Sequoia, the platform made of this truck, should have gotten this interior, but it didn't. You can see dual zone climate control. You have heated and cooled seats, which is nice. But no heated wheel, like I said before. You have 3 USB ports down here, parking sensor switch. Down here you can see there's cup holders, no wireless phone charger. This massive shifter controls the 6-speed automatic. There's a lot more storage over here, which is good. Good storage over here. This is a pretty deep storage bin, which is very, very useful. There's also little storage cubbies over there. And then over here you can see the glove box is a pretty decent size. It's not lined with felt or damped or anything like that. Some competitors offer a 2-tier glove box. And then above me, Toyota just gives you a standard moonroof, which is part of an option package that my tester has. Again, a lot of the competitors offer a big pano roof. Now, thankfully, even though the Tundra is old, it does offer a crap ton of interior space. Visibility is good in here. And you also have Toyota's Safety Sense, but it's the older system where the lane keep assist doesn't actually keep you in the lane, it just beeps. The adaptive cruise control doesn't come down to a full stop, which a lot of the competitors are definitely going to the newer tech features. Now, if you guys plan to regularly carry adults or just want the most space ever, you're gonna wanna go for the Crew Max model, which does offer comparable amounts of space to a lot of the newer competitors. Toyota says you get around 42 inches of legroom back here, and you can see the seats also give you this little trick where you can fold them up and they'll stay up, which is a lot easier to do when you don't have a camera in your hand. But you can see once that is up, you can see there's a nice, storage area here where you could put taller items back here, or you can put the seat down and get back here. And as you can see, Toyota offers a ton of space in here. So the Crew Max model is pretty much as roomy as the last, Ram or F-150. Although by the numbers, it has a little bit less legroom by like 2 inches when I shut the door. You can see the wide body of this truck allows for 3 people to sit across easily. You have rear seat air vents back here, but no heated rear seats. Some competitors are offering heated and cooled back seats now in the second row. Hard touch plastic back here, and it's slightly padded over here. Same kind of chrome door handle as well. The armrest here folds down to give you 2 cup holders, which is nice. And then these seats, they don't recline or anything like that. They just kind of flip up. Whereas again, the new Ram offers a recline rear seat, and then Ford offers that max recline function for the front seats. So again, something to keep in mind. The JBL sound system in this truck is also okay. It's definitely nothing special, nothing like what you get here in the new Ford and Ram trucks, of course, with their Harman Kardon and Bang & Olufsen systems. Now, underneath the Tundra's hood, a lot of you should be pretty familiar with this powertrain. It's been in production for the last 15 years or so. This is the company's tried and true 5.7 liter iForce V8. And even though this engine is getting pretty old and it's also thirsty on gas, a lot of you will probably argue that it's going to last, 500,000 miles easily with very little problems. That's something you couldn't say about the Tundra's competitors. The engine remains the same at 381 horsepower, 401 pound-feet of torque. It doesn't even have direct injection, it just has port injection. But the engine, when this engine came out back then, it represented one of the best V8s you could buy. Today, it's fine, but it is a very thirsty engine because this is rated at 13 in the city, 17 on the highway. It goes out through a 6-speed automatic transmission. So again, down almost 4 gears compared to some of the newer truck competitors. So that's really gonna hurt the fuel economy. And the Tundra is pretty heavy at 5,700 pounds. This is a few hundred pounds heavier than, an aluminum bodied Ford F-150, which is one of the lighter options. Rear or 4-wheel drive is available, like my tester has, with its 4-wheel drive system with a low range transfer case. And this particular one here will tow a maximum of 8,800 pounds, which is again, a little bit bit less than most of its competitors. Now, I've had a chance to drive this generation Tundra many times, so in this driving scene, I'm mostly just going to talk about what Toyota needs to address for the next generation. The Tundra still remains to be a comfortable driving truck. The ride isn't quite as comfortable as some of the newer competitors, of course, specifically the Ram with its air suspension, but it's got very light, kind of numb steering, actually one of the lightest steering that I've ever experienced in the segment, and the V8 engine still offers a good amount of grunt. I mean, it doesn't sound all that refined anymore. It's still actually gotten pretty noisy over the years. You can also feel the vibration of the engine through the pedals and through the steering wheel, which is pretty normal for a vehicle that was 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But nowadays, there's just a lot more refinement in here. The 6-speed auto is down a few gears, but it's actually a pretty responsive transmission. And the truck is relatively easy to drive. It's not a terribly difficult truck to drive, but you feel the weight of the truck. You feel that the steering is just numb. You try out the driver assistance tech in this car, like for example, the lane departure alert. All it does is just it constantly beeps bloody murder at you every time you go near the lane markers like that. So I just found myself turning it off because it doesn't actually offer any steering assist, which is annoying. But really what Toyota needs to address for the next generation Tundra is they need to address the steering feel. They need to address the fuel economy, because in my weeks worth of testing, I only got 13 mpg in mixed around town driving, and 16 was the best that I could muster out on the highway, which is just awful considering the big gas tank and just a lot of the competitors doing over 20 mpg. Again, 0 to 60 is not bad for this truck. I'm going to estimate it's around 7 seconds. It is slower than, again, a lot of the newer like EcoBoost F-150s, or if you go for a Chevy or GMC with its 6.2 liter V8, you're gonna get smoked at the light every time you're in this truck, but it still has a nice sound. And the beauty about the Tundra is V8 power comes standard. Some competitors, again, go with a six-cylinder, even a 4-cylinder as their base engines. But in terms of, capabilities and whatnot, I feel like this truck still feels like a tank. It feels like it can go over, go off-roading in it pretty easily. But really the whole aspect that just ruins the experience for me is just the somewhat bumpier ride quality, the old technology in this truck, even though I have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay now, and just the poor fuel economy. It's just really unacceptable for something that, in 2020, 2021, that gets this poor gas mileage at 13 in the city, 17 highway. Even truck buyers don't want to be spending this much money on fuel. So at the end of the day, obviously the Toyota Tundra is one of the oldest trucks you can buy, and that may be a good thing or it may be a bad thing. I can't stress enough just how old this truck is, but again, I actually did enjoy my week's worth of time with this truck. It still offers all the capability that truck buyers are looking for. It still tows a decent amount. It has plenty of room inside. It has a powerful V8 that sounds okay, although it's getting a little bit thrashy in its old age. But really, my biggest complaint with the Tundra has to do with the interior. It just hasn't aged well. It has, some of the tech features that you expect nowadays, especially with Android Auto and CarPlay, but with no heated steering wheel, no heads-up display. The driver assistance is getting pretty old. It doesn't work as well as the Toyota newer systems because you just can't retrofit it onto this old truck. But that fuel economy, where I averaged only 13 mpg around town, and at the best I could muster up 16 mpg on the highway, that's just awful. Combine that with the 38-gallon gas tank, and this is one expensive truck to fill up. And even truck buyers, they understand that gas is going to be more for a truck, but they don't want to be spending that much money and getting that poor a fuel economy, because obviously the newer trucks are going to get well over 20 mpg when you guys take those out on those longer road trips. Now, speaking of which, what makes the Tundra still enticing, obviously, besides the Toyota reliability and build quality, is the pricing of this truck. It starts at $33,700 for the base version. That's for an SR5, two-wheel drive, of course, the standard bed or standard cab. My tester here is the S1794 edition, starts at $51,945. It's the same price as the Platinum grade, and from there, there's really only the moonroof option and a couple of Toyota accessories. So all in, my tester is 55 grand with destination. That does make the Tundra a lot easier to spec and build versus a lot of its competitors, and it makes it significantly cheaper. So that's something that a lot of you will definitely consider. Combine that with the Toyota reputation for reliability, so it's no wonder that Toyota still manages to sell over 120,000 of these every year. But my argument is, if you guys are looking for the newest truck with the best technology, the best fuel economy, the most capability, the most luxury, the most tech, the Tundra's competitors are very enticing, and really until Toyota finally unveils the new generation Tundra, which we should be seeing sometime at the end of next year with a hybridized powertrain. My recommendation, wait or look at its newer competitors, or if you must have something that is tried and true and familiar, this is definitely still worth a look. But I hope you guys have enjoyed my full overview on the 2021 Toyota Tundra 1794. If you're also looking to see the latest cars I'm testing, be sure to follow me on Instagram at redline_reviews. Like us on Facebook, and as always guys, please keep subscribing to the Redline Reviews YouTube channel for all the latest reviews. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you all in the next video.